Lesson 11. Anger, forgiveness and resentment. There is nothing to work on, there is just stuff to let go. Wendy B. King. The misconception about anger. Anger is an energy. It allows you to speak your truth. It protects your rights and it stops you from being a doormat. It helps you maintain your own self-respect so that you do not betray yourself. Anger is a boundary. It means that we can have conflict and use anger in a resourceful way. Anger is not a negative emotion, but what you can do with anger can be very negative. Many of us know or relate to anger as violence, screaming, shouting, and abusive language or behaviour. You must separate that. Some people link anger to aggression. They are two separate emotions. Emotions do not have to be acted out. You need to be allowed to feel and express anger. You cannot be human and not be angry from time to time. If we can experience anger in a healthy way and have a relationship with all our emotions, we can get back to a baseline of joy. A great example of using resourceful anger was when Jesus was on the earth 2,000 years ago. Yes, he was a perfect man, yet he expressed anger. Really? When and where, I hear you asking? When he went to the temple to worship and found people using his Father's place of worship, the temple, as a marketplace for buying and selling goods. In Matthew chapter 21, it says, Jesus entered the temple and threw out those selling and buying in the temple. And he overturned the tables of the money changers and the benches of those selling doves. And he said to them, "It is written, my house will be called a house of prayer, but you are making it a cave of robbers." Contrary to what we've been told, anger is not a sin. You can have a relationship with your anger rather than your anger taking over you. If we keep it bottled up inside of us, one of two things will happen. One, we end up having anxiety because we are using so much energy suppressing our anger. We are literally holding on to it. Eventually, it will exhaust our nervous system. Or two, it can take over you, and then it is expressed by yelling or screaming, rather than behaving in a civil or resourceful manner. This can be embarrassing. It happened to me on a couple of occasions. And you end up having a conversation with yourself. I don't know what came over me. If we have been holding on to different emotions for years that we weren't allowed to show, it is going to take a good couple of months for the body to heal. This is due to many emotions that have been suppressed that need to be released. The exciting thing is that if you allow these emotions and feel these emotions, they don't get buried. That is the key, to feel it and allow it to go. Forgiveness. How can I forgive someone when I feel so hurt? Forgiveness is giving up the hope that the past could be any different. It is accepting the past for what it was and using this moment and this time to help yourself move forward. Oprah Winfrey. I used to think that forgiveness was accepting what the person had done and condoning the act, and that if we could not forgive, then God could not forgive us. This is what I interpret it to be in the Lord's Prayer, where it says, "For if you forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. Whereas if you do not forgive men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses." I didn't understand that the true purpose of forgiveness is to stop allowing whatever the person did to affect how I live my life now. Forgiveness is not that it was okay. If whatever happened hurt you, it hurt you. The realization is that many of us believe that we cannot be happy until you or they say sorry. If you think this, you are psychologically giving your power to them and you will still hurt. Surrender to the loss and disappointment and accept the truth. If you can allow it, Give yourself time to see them through the eyes of Thich Nhat Hanh. When you plant lettuce, you don't blame the lettuce if it does not grow well. You look into the reasons why it's not doing well. It may need fertilizer, or more water, or less sun. You never blame the lettuce. Yet, if we have problems with our friends or our family, we blame the other person. But if we know how to take care of others, they will grow well, just like lettuce. Blaming has no positive effect at all, nor does trying to persuade by means of reason or argument. If you still feel stuck and feel sad and angry, here is what I would like you to do. Another lesson of healing. I want you to find a quiet place where you can relax and think about the situation or the person that has caused you to feel this way. This is a good way to connect with your inner pain. On the blank page, I want you to write a letter to that person who hurt you. And again, with your non-dominant hand. If you're right-handed, do it with your left, and if you're left-handed, do it with your right hand. This is what you need to do. Dear Johnny or Lynn, whoever it is, this is what you did, and this is how it hurt me. This is what I'm feeling. This is what I needed. This is what it has cost me. This is what I want to resolve it. There is no right or wrong, just write whatever comes up for you. Take 15 minutes, half an hour, whatever. There is no time limit. Once you have done this, you may want to read it to yourself out loud or to a trusted friend or your counsellor or therapist. You may be feeling some strong feelings as you write this letter. Some people get angry, some people cry. Whatever you are feeling is right for you. It may be the first time you have allowed yourself to feel and let go, which is great. But I want to help you do it in a regulated way. Breathe through the feeling and be the observer. How do you do this? It's the 4 steps of awareness. 1. Name our emotion. 2. Own it. 3. Love your emotion. 4. Let it go. Awareness gives us choice. When we have awareness, only then do we have a choice. Sometimes we can't name the emotion. If we have been suppressing our emotions for a long time, we may have a sensation, a feeling. That's fine. If you feel that, name it. I feel hot. I feel a tightness in my throat. Own it, love it, let it go. On a further note, what if many years have gone by, and what if the person who hurt you or offended you is not even aware of this? If you have never raised the issue with them, how could they apologise? Sometimes people hurt you without knowing what they have done. It was never intentional, yet you might have thought it was intentional. This is why we need to communicate with how we're feeling and what we're feeling. If they have done something unknowingly, do you think it's right to hold on to a grudge or resentment? Nelson Mandela said, "Having resentment in your soul is like drinking poison and hoping your enemy is going to die from it." So let's make the decision to move to the pain. You can handle it. Pain is inevitable. Misery and suffering is a choice. Whether you like it or not, you do have a choice. Holding on to resentment is not going to change anyone's behaviour, so you can either accept it for what it is or let go of the hurt, or you can continue to suffer and feel hopeless. There are consequences for whatever decision you do or do not make. The questions are, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to turn the page of life and move forward or not? And how is this possibly serving you to be the best you, holding on to this resentment, anger, or pain? If something has come up right now for you, give yourself permission to let go of the past right here, right now. If you need to write down what you are feeling or thinking, let it out. Acknowledge how you feel. I'm sad. I'm angry. I feel hurt right now. Elie Wiesel, a Holocaust survivor, had these beautiful words to say. Think higher and feel deeper. Life is not a fist. Life is an open hand, waiting for some other hand to enter it in friendship.